right. So how do you know if buying this apartment or brownstone in New York City is a good investment? Is there a magical number or formula that can help you decipher? Well, I have something that's not perfect, but pretty close to it. It's called the rent yield. First, let me show you an example of such a good investment. This is a one-bedroom condo in Lower Manhattan in a decently new building. And the asking price is $1.375 million. The common charges are $907 a month. Taxes are $17 a month. So if you crunch some numbers, the rent yield for this apartment is 4.3%. Now, in New York City, if you look across all of these different investor properties, if you have an investment that yields you 3% or more, you have a good investment on your hand. If you have something that yields you 4% or more, it's a fantastic investment. Right? Now, if any of the above don't make sense to you, or if you want to know how to calculate anything or more information about that sample apartment, reach out to me. I'll be happy to talk you through it. Coming back here, so right, it's a good investment. We have to address the other attributes such as appreciation potential, liquidity. Right, but in this video, we're focused on the bottom line. We want you to be cash flow positive, which is solid foundation. And then also the second metric you should be looking at is that you want to make sure the rent you're going to get covers your monthly common charges and 3 months of your taxes. Right. So with that, we can now move on to maybe in a later video address those other attributes that make a good investment. But at this point, you're probably thinking, I've heard that prices don't appreciate in New York City. And being a landlord in New York City is asking for punishment because you can never get a tenant out. So let me tell you, I've been a landlord in New York City and Florida for over 10 years. And I have a property management company that manages about 30 apartments for different landlords. Any issues that you have or heard of, flood, mold, eviction, I've been there. So let me tell you my story. First, prices don't appreciate. That is not true. If you look at data going back to the 1990s to now, the median annual appreciation is between 4 to 5%. Right? And also, but it's kind of true. Over the last 9 years, we haven't appreciated, but that is really a cyclical downturn, right? So remember, from 2010 to 2015, prices went up about 60% in Manhattan, and Brooklyn is even more. Now, 15 and later, right, that was the peak. We ran into a cyclical downturn because the supply and demand imbalance, and then that ran into the biggest pandemic, right, which hurt big cities like New York City in particular. And then the second concern in terms of being a landlord, you have to remember it's not a free option for tenants to not pay. If tenants decide not to pay rent for no good reason, their credit score will be shot. Right? And then for an average New Yorker who has a job to maintain, nobody wants trouble. Nobody wants to go to the court either. Right? And also, while it's true, the laws in New York City are very pro-tenant, unfair to the landlords. We also have some of the strictest requirements for tenants. They have to be perfect in credit, make a lot of money income-wise. From my own experience, there are definitely bad people out there, but those are the people who set out from the beginning to not pay you. Those are scammers, professional scammers. So it's not like your average tenant halfway into your lease, just decided I'm not going to pay, right? So as long as you can pay a lot of attention, try to catch the scammers from the beginning, and landlord and tenant treat each other with basic respect, right? You're far from the housing court. So now that I've taken your two biggest concerns off the table, did I convince you to invest in New York City real estate? If I did, reach out to me.